Spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen Black Ranger yet, go see it here.
Stick your hand out of the bag!
So when I got the call to design the action for a Power Ranger short film, I said, "You had me at power." Then they said there'd be lightsabers involved, to which I said, "You had me at power." After a brief conversation with Dennis, the co-writer, director, and creator, I got sent the script and hit the ground running. The first scene was like a practice Boken dojo fight between Zach and two of his students. I called up some of the best up-and-coming stunt performers I knew to help out, and without exactly knowing the directorial style, I just went full-on Power Rangers. You know, high energy, cool moves, and, you know, just a little bit of cheese. At first, like, you kind of don't know why they're fighting, and then as the scene progresses, you find out it's actually like a training session. The second and final fight was a lot trickier to choreograph because it had like elements of story and dialogue interspersed with the action. I was lucky enough that some of my top students were available to help out, thankfully. Again, not knowing the exact tone they were going for, I just put together an end sequence that was, quite frankly, out of this world.
Such power from a galaxy far, far away.
I had to don the director hat temporarily for, you know, the key story points. There were a lot of like logistical issues, right? Just like, you know, where everyone was oriented, when do like so and so weapons come out, how to insert the dialogue without ruining the flow of the fight, you know. But I'm happy to say we got it all done in an afternoon, and once I put the final edit together of the previs, you know, Dennis was over the moon. Now with just indie films in general, like not everything is always done at once, like on features or, you know, productions with money. A lot of times they're shot on weekends when people are free, or when certain locations are available. So there's like literally like months between, like, you know, previs, rehearsals, and the actual shoot days. And even the shoot days could be spread out sometimes too. I think, not to mention post, you know, I think this film was in post-production for like 3 or 4 years. Honestly, I'd almost forgotten we did the film until I got an email from Dennis saying, "Oh, we're gonna premiere it in a month." So, sorry, what's that? Oh, the suit. Duh. I can't believe I still have this thing on. You know, I've just logged so many hours in it. It feels like a second skin to me. Sorry, one sec. That's better. So sorry, did you want to like redo the whole interview part with me like this, or you keep it? Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Where was I? Right. So unfortunately for me, by the time the film got to camera, I was already working on other projects, so I actually wasn't present for the actual shoot days. I had a couple of my colleagues cover me for the action sequences, and my students had been training the actors all throughout, so, you know, I wasn't worried. Oh, as well, you know, the two alien henchmen in the end sequence, they were veteran stunt performers, so, you know, I knew that, you know, the production was in good hands. I did jump back in when Dennis called me to take a look at the fights in post. So, you know, they had already edited everything together, and, you know, we spent a couple hours just kind of like touching up the fights, you know. First off, I was delighted to see the actors in action. You know, I was there for their first training day, and I remember thinking to myself, whoa, we'll need a lot of work. But I also remember them being very eager and not afraid to put in the work. And it paid off. With the exception of like maybe an angle or two that didn't quite work, a cut that might have lingered, you know, a little longer than it should have. Everything looked great. Oh, here's a little behind the scenes, like hot goss. So apparently on the day, there was like one particular action sequence that Denzel, the Black Ranger, the actor who played Black Ranger, had difficulty with. So they actually had one of the henchmen, who was like a veteran stunt guy, excellent martial artist, jump in the Black Ranger suit for that sequence. See if you can tell where that is in the final cut. I was beyond ecstatic to see that the majority of the action I had created was used in the final cut of the film. You know, a lot of times during filming, the action is the first thing to get cut due to time constraints, budget, what have you. But as a stunt coordinator, you know, for that matter, really any department really involved in a production, you know, you learn not to take it personally. You know, we're all just kind of cogs in a machine there to bring the director's vision to life. You know, I think we sometimes forget that. But I can honestly say that this was one of the best indie short films I've ever had the pleasure of working on. You know, I was a huge Power Rangers fan as a kid. So to be able to work on something like Power Rangers related in my professional career was really a true honor. And just for like all of the up and coming stunt performers out there, I just want to say that, you know, no matter what point you are in your career, you're never too big or too small to create. Yeah, that's all I have to say. Is that it? Did you get everything you need? Yeah. All right, thanks. This has been a lot of fun, but gotta get back to it. It's morphin' time! Dragon Zord! Back to action!